Hello guys, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Today I just want to do a quick revision for you for the final exam. Let's look at the first grammar part, which is conditionals. For first conditional, if you remember, we said we use present simple with will and verb 1. As an example, if you study, comma, you will pass the exam. For second conditional, the form is past simple with would and verb 1. As an example, if I won the lottery, I would travel a lot. Okay, now if you just go to page, which one? Unit 4, page 40, you will see that it is written. And here for third conditional, the form is past perfect with would have and past participle verb 3. Example, if you had studied, comma, you would have passed the exam. And for this one is you have to go to page 42, unit 4, student's book. Okay, yeah, as you can see here, let's look at complete this sentence from the quiz on page 39, the correct forms of the verbs, then match them with the parts of the rule. Okay, let's look. It says, what would you do if you broke your mom's vase while playing football? If you always tell the truth, people will trust you. Let's look at the rule. At first let's look at the rule. It says we use the first conditional to talk about real situation and their consequences. We form it with if plus present simple, future will clause. When we look at example 2, here you can see if you always tell the truth, people will trust you, is the example of first conditional. Second conditional, we use the second conditional to talk about hypothetical or very unlikely situation and their outcomes. We form it with if plus past simple would. As the example 1, you can see it. Okay, yeah. Now let's look at the third conditional examples. As you can see here, it says if Billy had looked up, he would have seen a young lady on her way to work. If he hadn't done the right thing, he wouldn't have seen his sisters again. We use the third conditional to talk about situation and their outcomes in the past. We form it with if plus past perfect, would or wouldn't, have plus past participle, verb 3. Okay. Now, let's look at here relative pronouns. Okay guys, remember we said we use relative clauses to give extra information. We use who to refer to people, which to refer to things, whose to refer to possessions, where to refer to places. And if you just go to your book, unit 5, page 50, you will see that the examples are there. Let's open unit 5, page 50. Okay, let's look at here relative pronouns. It says complete these sentences. For the rule, as you can see, the answers are here. Let's complete this exercise. One of the world's greatest storytellers is Stephen King. He has sold more than 400 million books. As you know, he is who. It's mean a people, a person. That's why we use he, who. Many people love his horror stories. As you can see, it's which. Third one, again, we say the best storyteller I know is my uncle, who lived in the India for several years. Her is possession. That's why we use whose. And the last one there, it's mean a place. We use where. As we say where we like to relax and read. Okay, now for defining relative clause, as we said in the class also, we give relative. It gives us relevant information. Example, my brother is someone who just doesn't like listening to jokes. This is just an information. It is not an extra information. Non-defining relative clauses give us extra information like fairy tales, comma, which were written for children, comma, are now being adapted to the cinema. Which were written for children is extra. Why? Because we already know fairy tales are written for children. That's why it is extra information, and still it's when we read, it's a full sentence. That's why we say this non-defining relative clause. Let's look at the examples. Okay, and here also it says we use a defining relative clause to identify an object, a person, a place, or a possession. Without this information, it's hard to know who or what we are talking about. We use a non-defining relative clause to add extra information. We don't need this information to understand the sentence. We put commas around it. Okay, as you can see from the examples. Now, let's complete exercise 4. It says complete these sentences, this defining relative clause with who, where, whose, or that. It says the house, blah blah, I grew up next to a school. Let's answer where. A book that has lots of short chapter is perfect for the bus ride to school. A person who knows a lot of jokes is usually a good public speaker. We went to hear a lecture by a writer whose books are always on the bestseller list. The author who wrote the famous teen novel The Outsiders was only 16. Let's look at the next exercise. It says tick the sentence which contain non-defining relative clause and add commas. As you all know, we just said if it's extra information, it's mean a non-defining relative clause. Let's look at the first one. My brother is someone who just doesn't like listening to jokes. It's just relevant information. It's not there is no extra information in it. But let's look at the second one. Fairy tales which were written for children are now being adapted for the cinema. As you know, we just put comma before the relative pronoun and after the extra sentence. The Brothers Grimm, whose stories have fascinated millions of children, lived in the 19th century. We already know Brother Grimms have fascinated millions of children. That's why it's extra information. Last one, it's difficult to read in places where people are talking on mobile phones. It's not an extra information. It's just informations. That's why we can say 1 and 4 defining relative clauses, 2 and 3 non-defining relative clauses. As you can see here, we just put comma around it. Please make sure, guys, don't forget to put your commas. It's important. Now, let's go back to our just page. Okay, passive voices. For present passive, we form it with subject, am is are, plus past participle verb 3. Example for active, we say I do my homework. You know, I is subject, do is verb 1, my homework is object. We just change the place of subject and object. We say my homework is done by me. For past passive voice, we form it with subject, was, were, past participle. Active sentence is I did my homework. Did is verb 2. That's why we say my homework was done by me. Let's go to unit 6, page 58. Open. Here you can see it says the man was pulled into the boat. Of course, hundreds of photos were taken by onlookers. This arm is attached to the bus. Blah blah is. Some people think he walks on glass board that are put in the water before. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the rule. We form the passive with a form of the verb be and the past participle. We use the preposition by to say who or what does the action, but only if this is important. Yeah. Okay, let's complete the instruction with the correct active or passive forms of the verbs. It says a long box is used for the district. A one woman hides at one. A second woman gets into the box. She puts her head out of one and holds her legs. Blah blah. The first woman pushes her legs out of the other end. The box is cut in half by the magician. The ends of the box are pulled apart to show that it has been cut in two. Okay, yeah. Now let's go back to our presentation. Okay. Here it says present perfect passive and future passive. We form present perfect passive with subject has have plus been plus past participle. As an example, we say they have already made the decision. We just change it. The decision has already been made. For future passive, we form it with subject plus will plus be plus past participle verb 3. We say for the active one, they will show the match live on TV. The passive is the match will be shown live on TV. Let's open our book, page 61. Okay, as you can see for future passive, yeah, let's just answer this one. As you can see, being covered, being shown, be revealed, and be shown. The answers are. Now let's look at the rule part. Okay, yeah. Okay, it says to make the future passive, we use will plus be plus the past participle, it's my verb 3. To make the present perfect passive, we use the present perfect form to be and the past participle. Let's look at the example. It says they will show the match live on TV. The match will be shown live on TV. Second one, they will choose the next Olympic city in April. We say the next Olympic city will be chosen in April. People all over the world will watch the match. We just say the match will be watched by people all over the world. They have already sold all the tickets for the show. All the tickets for the show have already been sold. They have already made the decision. The decision has already been made. Someone has already spent that money. That money has already been spent. This is the example of future passive form. Let's look at this one. It says good news for fans of How Do They Do That. A new series will be filmed over the next 3 months. As you can see, first one is well filmed. Second one, and the new shows will be aired in the new year. The shows will be presented by Liam this time. A new presenter will be chosen in the next week. Watch this space. The presenter will be or won't be joined by Spike the robot dog, but we aren't sure exactly what he will do. Will be chosen, will be joined. No, sorry. 6th one is will be joined. Yeah. Spike the robot dog, but we aren't sure exactly what he will do. Topics that will be covered include building, space, and food. There will also be a new time for the show. It won't be shown at the old time of 9 p.m. on Tuesday. It will be moved to Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. and the producers are hoping it will be watched by a bigger audience. I know one person who will be watching for sure, me. Okay, let's look at the next exercise. Look at the list and write sentence. Use positive and negative present perfect passive forms and already or yet. Okay, As you can see, for the ticked one, it's been positive sentence, cross are negative sentences. A place for the party has already been found. The invitations have already been sent. The drinks haven't been bought yet. The food hasn't been prepared yet. A DJ has already been hired. The music hasn't been chosen yet. Yeah, that's all. Here the answers. Let's go to our presentation. Vocabulary. As you all know, we have studied the types of story, unit 5. I told you that these are important. I may ask you write 3 or 4 types of story. Please know this one: crime novel, science fiction novel, historical horror story, autobiography, short stories, romantic novel, travel literature, poetry. For elements of a story, just go to unit 5, page 53. It's written elements of a story and the meanings are there. Please try to know the meaning of these elements: plot, setting, hero, character, opening, ending, villain, and dialogue. Let's just open our book. Okay, unit 5, page 53. It's the vocabulary part. First exercise, let's look at the meaning. The story of a film, play, etc. Plot. A person in a story is character. The last part of a story, ending. The main, usually good character in a story, hero. A character who harms other people, villain. The words that the characters say to each other, dialogue. The beginning of a story, opening. The time and place in which the action happens, setting. Okay, now what we are gonna do, let's go back to our presentation, make and do. If you remember, we have studied make and do, unit 6. We said for make your way, make sense, make time, make fun of someone, make a difference, make an effort, make a mess, make room for something, make a mistake, and make money. For do experiment, do housework, do well, do our best, do some good, do damage, do homework, and do a job. Here are the examples, which is unit 6, page 61. Now let's open it. Okay, let's go to unit 6. Okay, here are the examples. It says, I really need to do well in this test. I'm going to study hard tonight. I have been doing housework all day. I'm exhausted. It's a really good exhibition. You should make time to see it. Sorry, I can't meet you at the station, but I'm sure you can make your own way to my house. Don't go in there. They are doing a dangerous experiment. The film is very long, so it makes sense to have something to eat first. He made a lot of money in banking and retired when he was 50. Okay, let's continue. Now, okay, extreme adjectives and modifiers. Please, guys, in the class I told you we have gradable adjectives which are good, funny, happy, big, and small. And we have extreme adjectives which are great, fantastic, wonderful, brilliant, and amazing. For funny is hilarious, happy, delighted, big, huge, enormous, small, tiny. Okay, these are which unit? Unit 6, page 58. Remember that we use gradable adjectives. We use very with gradable adjectives, absolutely with extreme adjectives, really with gradable and extreme adjectives. We use both for it. Okay, let's look at here. Let's go back. Page 58. One more page. Yeah, it's here. As you can see here, let's match it. Okay, it says, look at these examples of adjectives with the modifiers very, really, and absolutely. Which combinations are correct and which are incorrect? Mark them, tick or cross. Really good, we said we can use really with both. Really amazing, we can use it. Very funny, yes. Very hilarious, no, because very is a gradable adjective and hilarious is an extreme adjective. We use very with gradable adjectives, we cannot use with extreme because it's a mistake. Absolutely small, no, we have to say very small. Okay, absolutely tiny, no. Yeah, as you can see, absolutely tiny, yeah, we can say tiny because it's an extreme adjective, it's not a gradable adjective, we can use it. Okay, yeah, let's do this one. And also guys, I just want to mention that you have a writing part for the final exam. It's easy, it's not hard. Let's go to, I think it's unit 2, as I remember. It was it's unit 3, as I remember. Yeah, it's unit 3. Yeah, it's here. Do you remember Susanna's advice page? Here we have the last part for Susanna's writing. Lara Ipswich, she had a problem, do you remember? We said read another letter to Susanna, write 3 pieces of advice for Lara. For the exam, I just want you to write 3 pieces of advice for Lara. Okay, this is your writing part for the final exam, and I hope it's gonna be easy. Just study the student's book and this one. Good luck. By the way, don't forget to study the notebooks too, because we just wrote the form of the rules. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.